Hey guys, Tina here and welcome to another video. This time around we'll be showing you all the books that I managed to read, well no, not to read, to get throughout December and January. As I mentioned in my previous book haul, hopefully this will be the last huge book haul, or huge, with multiple books. Future ones will have hopefully only like 2-3 books, but we shall see how long that lasts, right? But yes, let's get to the books because that's why you're here. Firstly, I will show you a few of the books that I already read, and the first of those is Wind Witch by Susan Denner. This is book 2 in her Witchland series, which follows Truth Witch, which came out last year, and it tells the story of Safi and Isolde, who are witches, and they get into a lot of trouble, and they go on a run, and somewhere along that way they meet two boys and they get into a bit more trouble, and this is the continuation of that story. I loved it. It was so action-packed. There was always something going on, and sometimes there was so much going on that I had no clue what was going on, and I was sort of, I will reread this next year, obviously, before the next book comes out, so maybe I will see things more clearly then, but I really enjoyed it, and I loved it, and I talk about it in my weekly reads video, and I will be linking that up in the card symbol for you so you can go watch it. So the next book that I have is Simon vs. a Homo Sapiens Agenda by Bacchial Bertelli. This was one of my favorite reads of 2016, even though, I forgot to mention it in that video. Yeah, I'm getting older and things happen, but this is a really fun read. It's about Simon, who's corresponding with this other boy via email, and that other boy doesn't want to come out, and because of that their correspondence is secret, but another classmate of Simon's stumbles upon it and decides to blackmail Simon into, well, getting him a date with this girl, basically. But yes, it's a really interesting topic that it deals with, but it does it in sort of really light-hearted way that it's really enjoyable, and I love this book, and I cannot wait for the next book by Bacchial Bertelli to come out, and hopefully it will be just as great. But yes, finally I have a paperback edition of this book, and I think I will just be rereading it really soon because I really loved it and enjoyed it, and it was so much fun to read. Next I have Rabble of the Sands by Elvin Hamilton. This tells the story of Amani, who lives in this small desert town, and she feels stuck there. She doesn't see a future for herself there, so she decides to go on a run, and she joins this really shady character that she doesn't know basically anything about, but they go on a run together and they get into trouble again. And this was an okay read. It wasn't my, I didn't really love it, I didn't hate it, but it lacked something from me. I think mostly because I didn't feel that a lot happens until the very end. But yes, aside from that, I was really on the fence whether or not to continue on with the series, but I decided to go forward with it, and I pre-ordered the next book because I heard better things about it, so hopefully that will be true, and things will pick up and it will be better, and if not, well, then we will say goodbye to this series altogether and forget about it. I talk about it in one of my weekly reads videos again, and I will be linking it up above yet again. Next I have Mitosis by Brandon Sanderson. This is Reckoner's novella, which is part of his Reckoner series, which tells the story of epics, who are these people that got superpowers, but instead of turning good, they turned evil, and the Reckoners are a group of people that are fighting them, and David is really fascinated by epics and this group, and he decides to join them, and that's what we see in Steelheart, which is a book that I read at the beginning of this month, and I will be linking it, with the video in which I talk about it up above. And Mitosis is a novella that follows that book, and I already read it and I talk about it in another video. The next book that I have I also already read, and it's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. This is a screenplay to the movie that we probably all saw already and loved, and it tells the story of Newt Scamander, who comes to America with a suitcase full of magical beasts, and well, some of them escape, and hilarity and fun and all of that ensues, and it's a really fun read. It's a fast read, even though it took me forever to read, but if you are slightly more dedicated to it and less distracted, you will manage to read it really fast. I already read it, as I said, and I will be linking the video in which I talk about up above. The next book took forever to arrive, maybe because it was December and, the post offices and all that were really busy, but it finally got here, and it's The Burning Pages by Genevieve Cogman. This is book 3 in her The Invisible Library series. I thought it was going to be a trilogy, and maybe I didn't check correctly, but now it's at least 5 books, so I'm not sure whether it's changed. or it was always meant to be a series. I do not know. But this is the story of Irene, who works for this interdimensional library, and she is occasionally sent on a mission to go to a different dimension and get a certain edition of a book and bring it back to the library. And on one of those missions, she takes her apprentice Kai with her, and they go to find a book, and it's already missing, and the owner, previous owner, was murdered, and she has to figure things out. So it's this mystery kind of fantasy book. There's steampunk, sort of Victorian era, and that's it. I really enjoyed the first book, which is why I have now book 3 here. I own book 2 again, but I haven't read it yet. I thought I was going to read it in November, but just wasn't in the mood, so now I have 2 to catch up with. Next I have 3 Dark Crowns by Andheri Blake. This is a book about triplets, sisters who are princesses, and they have to fight each other because only one of them can be queen. And I heard good things about this book, and I hopefully will like it as well. I got this red cover because I heard that you can get different covers, and I got this red one because in UK you have 3 types of covers, each for one queen, and I sadly would have liked to get the yellow one, I think, but I got this red one, and well, it doesn't matter. I just hope to enjoy the book, right? Next I have Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. This is a fantasy book about greatcoats who used to be a Queen's Guard, but they were disbanded, and now they're being framed for murder. That's what I'm getting, and it sounds really fascinating. I've heard good things about it from Sam over at Sam's Nonsense, as well as from Chris at Reading Roads, and I hope to get to this one soon, but it's not a priority, so sometime this year. Next I have Arabella of Mars by David L. Levine. This is a story of Arabella, who lives with her family on Mars, but her mother wants her to get a better education, so they go to Earth to do that. And while they're here, things happen on Mars that endanger it, and Arabella wants to go there and help. It's what I'm thinking this is about. The last book that I have is Never Night by Jay Kristoff, which is another book that was really popular and still is here on BookTube. It's a story about a girl that joins an assassin school. That's what I'm thinking it's about. I might be wrong, but yes, I will find out when I read it, right? I've heard good things about this book for the most part. I know that there are really long footnotes in this book, which I think it's one of the problems when you start reading it, that you sort of get pulled out of the story a lot. So I'll see how that, works for me. But I heard that once you get over those initial 50 pages or so, that the story sucks you in and it's really good, and hopefully that will be the case. So those are all the books that I managed to get during this time of December and January. As I mentioned, hopefully next book hauls will be shorter and have a lot less books, but we shall see. Things happen and I have no control over them, or myself for that matter. So yes, let me know down in the comments if you read any of these books and what you thought about them, and thank you for watching this video. See you in my next one. Bye!